Yeah, we do. All right.
What's up, everyone? This is Soul Spark Vibe, and we are on a mission to spark your soul so you can ignite your best life. This is my cousin Jen. This is me, Denise. D-Nice. Here we're at Saratoga Park in Bushwick, New York, Brooklyn. And our episode today is going to cover a topic that we feel really passionate about, and in one word, it's music.
Music is the word. Yeah, no, absolutely. This is, first off, like, such a beautiful adventure that we're on. It's really cool to be romping around. This is the second week in a row that we've been together. Actually, we
It's all in one week.
It is. I was like, we're in Brooklyn both times, but this time we're in nature, so I guess it's a little bit different. But, yeah, we actually had, there are quite a few things, like, ways that we could go with music, and, I think that, like, what I first think of, and this is a very new memory, so this is why it's coming to mind right now, but Denise, myself, and our cousin jamming, and just like totally getting into a flow yesterday when we're staying at our cousin's house in Brooklyn, and he has like a bunch of instruments in the basement, and we made some awesome music, and it's just like, and not that that's like the best representation. There are billions of different ways that the flow state that music induces can be depicted, but that's like the most fresh, I suppose. But that state is one of like, it's personally one of the most sought after feelings in myself. I think, you know.
I totally agree, and like music is really dear to my heart, because I'll just give you a quick background on me. I have a degree in business. I was in corporate for 12 years. I lost my sister and my father, and music and my job and my dog all within my sister was prior, but music has been my medicine. And like when I moved back into my mother's, I was living in her basement, and I was like just reevaluating my entire existence. And I started automatic writing, and I channeled a few things that I had never explored in my life, but I always in the back of my mind wanted to. And one of the things was music therapy. So, and I thought back to like all the times that music has been the only thing to get me out of grief, or to change my mood in such a dramatic way, in a positive way. So I had to explore a career or an education in music. So I can't say enough about what harmonies and melodies and music has done for me. So to jam last night and really let loose outside of like an intellectual setting was really invigorating for me, and I love it. I could do it all night long. We were in there for hours.
We literally did. Well, yeah, pretty much. But I think that's like, I think it's amazing, and one of the reasons why I was so excited about this topic is because of your music therapy program, and like really diving into how therapeutic music is and why, right? Like it's all, and we've talked about the vibrations and the energies before, but this is like a very like mechanical, physical way of seeing the vibration and how it radiates from one object to another. And it's such a beautiful thing to put yourself in the position to kind of be the conduit of that for people.
Oh my God, yeah, and it's like, it's not new. This is centuries old. People have been using sound for healing, and bells, and I mean, I can't even tell you the amount of instruments. Since humans have hunted and gathered, they've created beats and melodies, and if you sound for healing and acting out ritualistically feelings, and okay, so like say you went hunting and caught a lion or something. I know I'm getting really far-fetched. Not a lion. I don't know if you'd hunt for a lion, but a buffalo or something. And then they'd reenact that entire scene through music and performing arts. So it's deep-rooted in all of us. And so now in the century that we're in the times that we're in, more and more colleges and universities are recognizing music therapy as a serious major, and they're offering it more and more, especially in the tri-state area. So I'm really, really excited to jump on this bandwagon, because what I was going to say is new, but it's not new. It's ancient, and so it's like, but we're coming into a time, I think, where people are exploring more holistic medicine versus traditional Western medicine. So I'm like it to be the conduit to help. In particular, I want to play for people on hospice because I have a personal experience with somebody who was on hospice for like a day before they like, you know, yeah. So I want, in that time, in the transition from life to death, they're prescribing music as medicine. I can't wait to be a part of it and lift people's spirits. Yeah, even if they can't talk, if they're in a vegetative state, there's studies that are being shown that they're healing or calmer. Their heartbeat drops and they're more calmer, even if they can't even say it. So I'd love to be of service to people in that way.
Yes. And that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because music has done that for me.
Yeah, me too. And it's wild. It's interesting because like I was having a conversation with somebody. This had months to a year ago, right? And we were talking about the music that like we used to listen to compared to the music that we listen to now, and how like the energy of it is so much different. And we were kind of talking about how like maybe it'd be better if like music only had a higher vibration to it. And it was a really cool moment when I realized that I needed the darker music to get me through those darker times. You know, like
absolutely.
The music grew and it's evolved with me in a way that like, but I needed it. And so I 100% know that it is medicine for the soul. Like it's unbelievable.
It's all, like I'll go back to like certain songs around certain times in my life that have been like traumatic or whatever, and I can just, a tear will just drop. And sometimes you need that. Like another thing that I really love about music is it's an art form, obviously, but it's like an expression of the time. So one of my professors described it as fashion. So like say in the 18th century or whatever, you'd see people in totally different attire and the music was totally different as well. So it's an expression of the times, and I find that so freaking fascinating. And I love to like I listen to that type of music. Like I'm being classically trained, so it's my first Bach piece that I'll be performing in with actually less than a month. So I did research on Bach and the time where he lived and the times where he was creating that music, and you can almost like project yourself into that. It's really beautiful thing. I feel like it's an expression of the times. It's like fashion.
Very much so.
And yeah, it can just evoke so many different feelings.
Sorry,
happy,
I didn't
sad.
know if we should pause 1 second. Here we are. All right, cool. Because I don't know. You were drowned out and you're sitting right next to me. But yes, there's another one coming. So. Yep. Remix it up.
Music.
It's beautiful.
It's the sounds of Brooklyn.
It's right. Yeah. And yeah, we don't edit anything. So thanks for sitting through that with us, or fast forwarding through it and hanging with us. But yeah, talking about like the feelings that music invokes within people, it's like, I know, well, we talked about this a little bit earlier. One of my favorite things in the world to do is see live music, right? I grew up seeing live music, and it's something that like, it just, it resonates with me. It amps me up like big time. But it's amazing because like more recently, I guess I've been able to feel how it amps everybody up, and how that collective amp up is like just pure like passion and like just energy moving with like a community of people who are all appreciating the same thing. So like when it's like invoking different energies, it's like, and I think you were probably going a different way with that, like where it was like more sad, or like you can make it happy or something like that. But it's interesting, like even like some of the more depressing bands that I used to listen to, being at one of their concerts is one of the most energizing and uplifting things. And it's just like the presence that it brings. It's like an unspoken, you don't even need to speak. You could just like bond on the music. Yeah.
I love going to concerts, man. I love it because like music hits people. We all have different perspectives. We're all individuals. So like to see how profound it impacts like I mean, if you have, I mean, the PNC Art Center in New Jersey, like thousands of people, and like just collectively like singing the same lyrics and like it's just, I love it. I love it. I really enjoy it.
Same. But it is, it's incredible how memories are tied so strongly to songs. Like I will hear a song and it'll take me back to like, I'll be sitting in this spot and like smelling the smells, and it's one of the coolest phenomena
Of the human experience.
Of the human experience, yes, absolutely.
I
like
would
it's
agree.
just it's amazing.
If you guys have any particular songs or genres that you'd like to share that happens to you, we'd love to hear it, because everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
So what's a song that brings you back, and what's the memory that it brings you back to?
Well, what's yours?
American Pie. My father used to play it every year driving to Thanksgiving. We come from a big family. Like, my father's one of 10. So when we were kids, when my grandfather was still alive, we'd have these massive holiday parties. So for every Christmas or Thanksgiving, I think it was Christmas, he would play that song, and we're in a minivan. I'm one of 5 myself, and it literally brings me back to that ride to my grandfather DeMayo's house. And it reminds me of my father every time I hear it. Yeah. It's a wonderful memory.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
What's
nice.
yours?
Oh man. Well, I'm
one of yours.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go with Less Than Jake. I don't know what the name of the song is. I want to say it's off the Hello Rockview album, but it might be the Borders and Boundaries. I have no idea. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but it's me and Frankie. Well, my brother. Sorry if you're watching this. Don't want your name out.
What's up, Frank?
But we were driving. He was leaving for Oklahoma, and he was like the first one to like get out, and it was so funny though, because like the whole memory comes back. The road trip itself was a shit show. Like, it was me, my brother, my mom, and my dad in this station wagon packed out with Frank's stuff, and there was no space. Like, my parents were driving, and then finally my brother and I got to take the front seat. We're ready to roll. Frank turns this song on. We're going, and my parents are like, okay, we're ready to stop. That was like how the trip like almost kind of started out. It was great.
That's
it was
beautiful.
Oh, it was wonderful. But just ska music, singing about getting out with my brother.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's amazing how music can just bring you to a completely, because like it's so interesting how like when we evolve, it is like such different lifetimes. Like, I know both of us have gone through so many different lifetimes, and so to have that connection to all of it that ties it through is fun.
I'd like to make a suggestion. If you don't already, if you're going through trauma, I mean, we all have trauma, right? But if you're going through something and you don't know how to get out of it or get your racing mind away from it, breathing techniques have helped me a lot. But in particular, binaural beats just kind of help me get into like a calm state. And there's all different types. You can look them up on YouTube, Apple Music, for a particular feeling that you're feeling. They've helped me tremendously, and they still do. When I meditate, like even just like a percussion, like they say it's the heartbeat or symbolic of your heartbeat. I would totally check those out if you're in a rage or upset or need some healing. The sound of the flute is really soothing. So percussion and flute and Native American music has really been really helpful for me to get into meditative states or just calm.
I love that you brought up binaural beats.
Yeah,
I still like my chill music that popped up on the computer the other day. That's binaural beats. It's like my focus beats. So like when I get into like I'm trying to get work done.
Concentration flows.
I pop those
traumatic.
on. Yeah.
I mean, every time I talk, it's either about a funeral, a death.
So funny. Yeah, so there are plenty of different uses. But yeah, no, they're amazing. And no, but I did, that's kind of like meditations and the binaural beats on YouTube is really like how I started kind of reprogramming myself. It was because the
Definitely.
frequency, and the scientific term for it is, I believe it's entrainment, where, nope, that's the objects. That's like a physical, like we are entraining energy. But when it comes to like music frequencies, I think it's just attunement.
Attunement, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, as these beats are going through, it's, you are like, our energy at listening to it, our frequency is
changing,
aligning to meet that. So with different frequencies that like have been shown to affect us neurologically in different ways, like 432 I think is like the love resonance.
432 hertz.
Hertz. Yeah, hertz. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are these different frequencies that unlock these different things, and they're freaking powerful. They're amazing.
For
they're
sure.
Amazing.
A lot of times it's really subtle. So like if you're like me, like when I first heard about it, I'm like, yeah, right, you know, and I'll listen to it and like didn't get like this extreme effect. It's subtle, but it's definitely affecting your frequency and your brain waves.
I do want to also throw a disclaimer in here, because yes, they can be subtle, but I actually I had an experience with my cousin, because I would listen to meditations that had like the beats behind it, the binaural beats in the background when I slept. Like I think almost for like 5 years, I like listened to this, but it put me to sleep every night. And my cousin stayed over one night, and she ended up like, what I was listening to, the beats, like she had like almost a panic attack in the middle of the night. I say almost, like she straight up had a panic attack. She was just like, Jen, you need to like turn this off right now. And so it can, you do want to like actually, but that's like goes to show that it is actually doing something. Like not that I want to like prove it in a
traumatic,
yeah, like in a traumatic way, like in a bad way. But there are different, and she's listened to other ones with me as well, with no problem. So it was like that particular one, there was something about that particular one that just didn't resonate with her, and that's okay as well. Like try out different ones, because they're all very different. People bring unique flares into it, so if something doesn't agree with you, that's very okay, but don't completely discount it, maybe, or do. You do you.
I'd like to make a suggestion. Insight Timer is a free app on the Apple Store and Google Play Store, and it has some really wonderful stuff on there. It's really done a lot for me.
Yeah,
with meditations, background music. Yeah, you can look up anything. Like sometimes I'll be in the mood to hear piano, or they have soothing piano, and even YouTube. I mean, I love living in the time that we're living in. We have access to so much information, so I'm
just gonna
just
move
use
my
it.
dirty ass. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. So, I mean, I don't know, octaves. So, what I've learned, we've been able to, and there's different cultures throughout the world, obviously, but in Western culture, we, I don't know where I'm going with that, but okay, so, you know what I also do that I'd like to share with you guys is I'll produce vowel sounds based on different pitches. So different pitches produce different, stimulate different energies, or actually glands in your body, so you can connect with your mind to a gland, like, okay, let's say the pineal gland in the middle of your head. The C note registers, it stimulates your pineal gland. So like, for instance, can we ohm together? Mm-hmm. So let's find C really quick. Is that too low? That pitch right there will stimulate your pineal gland, and from what I've been working on it, and actually I've had really profound breakthroughs with like lucid dreaming and projections, and I believe it has a lot to do with stimulating my pineal gland. Pituitary gland, I have different, you can look them up. This is public knowledge.
Do these like correlate to the different energy centers, like the different chakras?
Yeah,
right. Like
they do.
That would be the crown and
plexuses.
The third eye would be the ones that you were speaking about.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
very cool.
Yeah, so I'll give you another one really quick. The solar plexus is a gathering of nerves in your abdomen, and the vowel sound that corresponds with that, and what I've read and I learned, I'm sure different cultures around the world have different things, but it's really like a connection with your mind. You create, solar plexus. You can use high C. So forgive me, I have a low voice, and the vowel I use is may. So do re mi fa sol la ti do may. I'm sorry. That was probably the worst example to do because
I love it.
But it could stimulate. So you could stimulate different plexuses and psychic centers of your body, and it grows your psychic centers, in my experience. And I've been able to do different practices, and like I said, spiritually grow and be able to lucid dream and all of this really cool stuff that I'm building. I've been doing it for the last year. I can't wait to see what it brings me, but it's in line with music and singing. Singing is a really good practice. If you wake up and sing every day, and okay, so for a lot of my life, I was really sad and depressed, and I got a good way of covering it up. But as I come into myself, and since my spiritual awakening and this whole music and like just throwing myself into music, being around it in school and all the time, like I sing and I dance now, and it's like an awesome validation that I'm getting happier, like, and I'm healing. I'm halfway healed.
I like that.
This
we're
is
gonna
the
go
healing
make a song.
process.
We're gonna go make a song about that.
I'm like, here. No, I love music. I really recommend if you guys are in some, and it doesn't always have to be sad.
No, well, I think and this isn't like really sad, but I want to kind of just go back to the chakras, because we were talking about the YouTube videos and everything, and they have those like specific notes for the chakras, and I've
different
taken,
hertz.
Yeah, I've taken
different
the
rates of vibration.
Because and this is something we should, if you want to see a video about the chakras and the chakra centers, let us know, because this is something that like I really enjoy, and I know you know a bit about it as well, correct? Yeah. But so there are different things. I don't really know what the word. I don't know. There are different like things. Traits, characteristics put on each chakra, right? So like if I'm feeling like ungrounded and I'm kind of like, which happens, well, it's a little bit more under control than it used to be, but like I would thank you no, but like if I need to like ground or whatever, like I would throw on a root chakra just sound, and I would just sit there and just giving my mind something to focus on that isn't anything other than like a sound is really helpful. And whether it's doing something or not, like it doesn't it doesn't, like going into it, I guess like going into it knowing that it's doing something is why it does.
Yes, the mind
like,
body can
absolutely, but the benefits can still be reaped even if you're just like, I need to breathe. Or like, I guess I can't really say like anybody in particular, this is what I was doing. It was like, I need to breathe, and like I feel like my creativity is being incredibly stifled right now. So I'd put on a sacral sound,
which is right below the belly button,
and it's your passion center, your creativity center. And
you can
sit there and breathe.
Feel the nerves in there. Like, I don't know if you've ever been tickled down there, and it's like, for me, it's super sensitive.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, I guess is that why people are ticklish? Because it's like the nerves, the belly button's like the nerve kind of like connector.
Absolutely, yes. So it's a biological effect. But your nerves produce energy, things that we can't see to the naked eye, but they're there.
Yeah.
And music can bring them out and open them
and it's amazing because like I feel like as I continue along this journey, I keep feeling that I'm like I'm connected to my body and I'm feeling things and all of that, and then like it's like I almost get to a different level and I'm like, oh wow, like I'm actually feeling things now like differently than I had been, and like music is something like very much that I can like feel. So like for so long, and this is why I guess where I was coming from with like you're still reaping the benefits even if you're not like connecting it, like if you're just listening to it, because for a long time it didn't really I didn't actually feel much happening, but then now I actually can, and it feels like it was all like kind of a practice to get to a place where I could feel it within me and how things were healing.
I have to emphasize that.
Yeah.
I have. If you believe, like, and it's scientifically proven. That's me. Like, I'm super like practical and logical. I was more. Now I'm opening up to like less objective knowledge. But I totally have to emphasize that. Like, if you believe it, if you read the stuff on it and practice it over time, you become more aware of the effect it has on you, and you grow more. I don't know how to say it, but like more aware, even more aware, and see the change and the effect even more profoundly. So don't give up. Don't give up on yourself.
No, never.
Oh, and
always
also,
grow.
I gotta mention, I was on antidepressants for some time. And I just stopped taking them. I didn't like the effect that it had on me. And even against doctors' recommendations, because, I guess they wanted, I don't know what their intentions were, for me to keep coming in and we're getting rained on. But music has healed me through, like, more than antidepressants ever did for me. So if you're considering, and my God, don't take this, as medical advice, but music can be really healing. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
I just wanted to share that it's not. Oh, the answer is not always a pill, but again, I'm not a doctor.
And so I had a very similar experience with my ADHD medicine.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah, I was on
Adderall
for my entire life, and it kind of like circumstances had it where I couldn't get my prescription refilled, and it was just like, cool, it's time to just stop taking it. And at that time, my whole world flipped around, but I focused in. I was like, I need to be like just consuming good energy right now. So I went on and I found a podcast called Positive Heads Podcast, and like it was
Thank
for the next
God for our leaders in spirituality.
Absolutely, man. Like for the people like paving the way for us
and have the courage.
It's amazing. For the next, I want to say like 6 months to a year maybe. That is all I ingested, like audibly. That's not true. There were books. There was a whole bunch of stuff in between as well. But it really like the energy that I got from that. So it's like it really like our communication goes into music as well, because it is like the same, like we emanate frequency.
Oh,
and
it's
that
raining,
is
guys.
so effective. Okay, well, we might have to cut this short because we're about to get rained on.
She's got a white shirt.
I got a white shirt on. Always, which always ends up poorly in weather like this.
Rock and roll.
We love you. See you next week.